Why are you screaming? Like screaming. Did they hear that? Could they hear that? No, they didn't hear that.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, welcome to the sports office. It's great to have you here tonight. Yeah. We got a good show planned for you. There's a lot going on right now. Ludeman's in the house. Hey, good weather last couple days.
Oh, we're at 50 degrees Saturday, Sunday, and today. 50 degrees.
Meteorologically, did I say that right?
That's a good word.
Yeah. 50 feels like 75
It does.
when you've been where we are. I mean, it felt like spring.
It did. I mean, with the sun out, we had sun as well. These are called bonus days of February.
Look at that.
I've said it on air, and I'll say it here. Are we done with snow?
No.
Are we done with cold?
No.
Are we done with wintry crud?
Absolutely not.
There you go.
Yeah.
No.
Don't run all the gas out of your snowblower
Very
yet.
smart.
Yeah, don't do it.
Boo.
Canner in the house. What's up, Canner?
Hello.
Great to have you here. So tonight's show is brought to you by Figer Law. All we do is win. We appreciate them being part of the program. Michigan is the new #1 team in basketball. We're going to talk about that. John Niyo joins us from the Detroit News and also from our Sunday night show, Fox 2. John Niyo, what's up, bud?
What's going on, guys? I see Luderman just kind of strolls in there when the weather gets nice. And
takes
a victory lap, right?
Takes a couple of pats on the back. There it goes.
Can't find the guy. He's like Punxsutawney Phil when it's snow outside. But.
So, John, I have a lot of questions, starting with
it.
this one, because every time I turn on the Olympics, it's all that I see. Can you please explain curling to me?
It's heating up, though. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, there's like
Every
fights
time
and
I
stuff.
turn it on,
Canada
it's
and Sweden
heating,
going at it.
and they have like one here and one here and one there, and one team start pumping their fist, and I don't know why.
Yeah, we're learning all sorts of things here. The hog line, that was a new one for me. I don't even want to go there. But yeah.
Well, the Canadians are ruining their reputation.
I know.
The Canadians are usually so polite. Now they're yelling at people.
Swearing.
We're supposed to be the ugly Americans, not the ugly Canadians. But this is fun.
Yeah, well, I did Google the other night, so I'm watching it, and there's a little hammer next to one of the countries. And I said, I Googled, what does the hammer on the scoreboard mean? It means you've got the last thingamabob.
The last,
Yeah, which apparently, the last stone. Yeah, which apparently is a big deal. Like it's like last up or something.
You want to go last, right?
Yeah, so that's what the hammer is. If anybody at home is wondering what the hammer is, I just Google is your friend.
Wow.
Is she on vacation?
John wrote.
We all know what the hammer is.
Yeah,
and,
she's on vacation.
Yeah, she's down in Florida tearing it up with Woj, by the way. By the way,
perhaps they're playing a little shuffleboard down there, maybe.
They're of age. They are of shuffleboard age for sure. And I think Wojo has the shuffleboard outfit for come on.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen that before. John wrote a terrific column after Saturday's game between Michigan and UCLA about the Wolverines and where they are. And there's a lot to kind of dive into here on the day when they become the #1 team in the country on the polls. Just hit me with this, John. And I know you've watched them all year, but just that game, that run to end the game, which, by the way, was the second time they did it in the week. Did it to Northwestern, did it to UCLA.
Right.
When you were walking out of that building, what were your thoughts about that team?
It's the overwhelming depth, I think, is what, and you see it happen again and again now, where they just overwhelm teams with waves of guys. But it really doesn't matter if one of their stars, quote unquote stars, has an off night. They've got 2 or 3 more that are going to pick up the slack, and that's what separates them from almost every other team in the country, is just the depth of talent that they have that can win games for them on any given night. You see, Michigan State, if Jeremy Fears has an off night, man, it's a real struggle for them to get over the top. Michigan, they've got other guys that can do it, and they don't have to play 40 minutes a night. Yaxel's playing 30. I think everybody played under 30 minutes, and they had 9 guys over 20 minutes in that last game, and that's how they've won all season.
And you could certainly see that in the Northwestern game, because the last 6 to 8 minutes of that game, Northwestern, all their shots were coming up short. They were slower defending, and Michigan just turned it on with guys that weren't exhausted and just overpowered.
They kind of blew the dust off LJ Kason and said, "Go, man," and he responded.
Yeah, no, and they played with their food for the first 20 plus minutes of that game too, and then they can get away with doing that as well. But no, to me, that's what's. Obviously The front court is just dominant size-wise, et cetera. All those things that we saw right off the get-go. But it's the depth that, to me, that has – and the selflessness, because nobody really seems to care that nobody's scoring 20 points a night or whatever. You've got a guy who could be in the NBA in Lenborg right now, and he doesn't seem to mind that, he's the focal point, but he's not the superstar, the guy who's going to be player of the year.
45-17, they outscored Northwestern to win that game. 46-18, they outscored UCLA to win that game. That was what they closed on in each of those games. And that's just not normal. And the byproduct of that is you're 24-1. You're the number one team in the country. Dusty May was asked today about the Wolverines being number one. Here were his comments.
Says that we have a really talented group of people, coaches, players, support staff, everyone involved, that make each other better. As far as the number one ranking, here's how important it is to me. It means absolutely nothing right now. I don't know any staff that I've ever been on, what we were ranked at the end of the year, to be honest. I don't recall and don't really care. So it's awesome for our fans. It's cool for the energy and intensity that it brings to the games and being able to do cool things like college game day and whatnot. But as far as internally or me emotionally, it doesn't mean anything.
Finish the story here, okay? So we're only partially through this. But why is he the right guy for right now? Not just with Michigan, but maybe in college basketball. Why is he the example of what it takes to be successful at this time? And again, I understand he's got to finish it, but he did go to a Final Four previous to coming to Michigan. So what is it about this guy that works?
Well, I think why he was the right choice for Michigan in the first place too is look, he had done it a different way. He had done it at Florida Atlantic. He had built a team kind of from nothing to a Final Four team there. So he's been on the other side of the fence, if you will. But he's got the resources, certainly this year in particular, he's got the resources to go, compete with Duke and everybody else at the top of the heap. But he's also got his team plays an analytically modern game. It's layups and it's 3-pointers, and he sees the game in the ways that I think all the best coaches these days do, both in the NBA and the college game. But he's also got that demeanor. I'm sure it's driving some of his rivals crazy. He's got this kind of aw shucks sort of demeanor about him, pretty low key, even keel. But he's got a team that competes, just like he does, I'm sure. And you're seeing it, I think, on a night-to-night basis now.
Yeah, I think it's the team building too, and the ability to coalesce these guys who, for the most part, didn't know each other coming in, and you touched on that in your column as well. And I loved, although it's simplistic, I loved the comment from Nimari Burnett, because when I read it, I almost thought of him doing a pregame or a postgame show, just sitting there as an analyst, giving you this quote when he said, in the era of NIL and just this era of college basketball, it's amazing what Dusty and the staff have done, recruiting great personalities, unselfish guys. That's such terrific awareness for a player that's what we're saying, but that's what they're living.
Yeah, and he's a guy who's been through it. He came here because of Juwan Howard and the connections he had to Juwan back. It seems like forever ago now, but it was just a couple of years ago. He and Will Cheddar were on the court, losing 24 games and, basically the laughingstock at the end of the Big Ten. So he's seen the other side of it too. And now he called it night and day. It is night and day for him in just a couple of years. But that is a big part of it. It's the roster construction. It's like we talk about in the NBA now and in the NFL and all these other pro sports where, yes, there's a payroll. Yes, Michigan is spending more than just about anybody else in college basketball on this team, but they're getting a return on their investment, if you will, and the pieces fit. And Dusty May has done a good job of getting the right guys. Even last year, I thought the portal additions made sense, and they certainly make sense right now. And you see some of these other teams where they're spending money and they're not getting Kansas State just fired their head coach, and they spent a ton in the portal a couple of years ago. Kentucky's had a rough time with a payroll that's even bigger than Michigan. So money doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees you an opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to say you see what an amazing job he's done, because you look at other teams in the Big Ten. I'll put my Maryland team as one of them. Oregon is another one. Teams that were Sweet 16 caliber teams in recent years, and then they just can't put that team together. They won't gel, whatever it is. Now they got to go start over. Whereas Michigan's now starting this thing where they can kind of keep it going.
Well, it feels like pretty much everybody starts over every year.
And they do. And now, again, at a certain point, you do have to have some carryover. And he's got some guys. I mean, he's got a guy in Trey McKinney who's probably one of the unsung heroes of this team, is sort of a sixth man almost. But he's going to probably be back, you would think, unless he plays himself into the NBA here down the stretch. And so you're going to have guys like that. You need that. But, yeah, you're going to go into the portal just like in college football. These top teams are going in the portal for their quarterback or whatever it may be. And you're going to see that in college basketball. But, again, it doesn't guarantee it. I mean, Kansas, you look at some of the issues they've had with their star, Patterson, and, you know, there's nothing guaranteed about it unless you get the right guys and you get them all to buy in.
They not only have to all want to play together. In the case of Patterson, you have to want to play.
Right, exactly.
They don't even know when this kid's going to show up. And when he does show up, if he's going to play more than 20 minutes or what it's going to be. And he's a tremendous talent. But clearly there's some questions that have to be answered about him. Hey, John, there is a school of thought that when they were trucking teams like Gonzaga earlier in the year, that was kind of their height. And maybe and even I think Dusty may have said it, not playing as well now. Do you buy that, or do you think they are getting better and they are building towards the tournament here?
No, they are now. They definitely went through a lull there, and some of it, I think, Lendeborg's injury maybe played a little bit of a role in it. But yeah, they definitely started to feel themselves probably a little bit after Christmas, and you know, you get into the Big Ten and you get a reminder that the Big Ten is much better than what you've been playing. And so, yeah, I think this last couple of weeks you've started to see them pick it up. They had that lull in the first half of Northwestern, but otherwise I think they played pretty well here now for a few weeks. And look, the schedule, the Big Ten, for TV purposes, backloads all these top teams' schedules, and they're no different. They've got, at Purdue, at Illinois, at Iowa still to come, plus the finale against Michigan State. So they've got a tough road, and they've got a cushion now, 2-game lead, but Illinois gets them at home, and they've been circling that, since Morez Johnson transferred in the offseason probably. And so Illinois is a team that looks like they could run the table. And if that's the case, then Michigan really can't afford to slip up maybe more than one other time if they're going to lose that game at Illinois.
Hey, John, I got a question. It's all speculation, but do you see them being a number one seed a few weeks from now? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think it's a likelihood at this point. And again, the only thing that would maybe, if they stumble 2 or 3 times down the stretch and somebody like Illinois sort of leapfrogs them and wins the Big Ten. But the Big Ten champion is going to be a 1 seed. And in Michigan's case right now, they could even lose a game or 2. And I think you're still probably feeling pretty good about them being a number 1 seed, in which case the most likely scenario is you're playing in Buffalo in the first weekend of the tournament, and then Chicago in the Midwest regional, which, means you're not doing anything but driving if you're a Michigan fan to go to these games. So there's a lot to play for still, but that number 1 seed certainly counts.
I did want to bring you on, John, because I really enjoyed the column about Michigan, but I want to ask you about Michigan State. They've lost 3 out of 4. They got UCLA coming up. The one win was against Illinois, which is a really good win. But does any of this give you pause about the Spartans and where they might be headed in March?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're scrapping now. They're going to have to – this is a good get-right week for them, hopefully. I think UCLA looks like a team they could beat at home, and then Ohio State at home on Sunday. You win those 2, and I think you feel better about yourself going into the stretch. And, look, you're trying to still get a top 4 seed and a triple bye in the Big Ten tournament, perhaps. But you see they just don't have the margin for error that Michigan does, and particularly offensively, that it's just not an efficient offense. It's so dependent on Jeremy Fears creating. Unless one of those other guys sort of catches fire here down the stretch, I think you feel like their ceiling is a little bit lower than maybe it looked earlier in January. I started to think, well, this could be another one of those teams, and it still could be. We see Izzo's teams all the time go through these, February lose 2 or 3 in a row, and then next thing you know, in March they're March Izzo teams again. But it's just the offense. It's such a struggle at times to score for them, and that starts to come into play when you're against these top teams in the Big Ten.
John,
He
good
always
stuff.
finds a
Appreciate
way
you.
in March.
Yeah,
He
Izzo
always
does.
Yeah,
figure it
he
out.
does.
He
He
does
does.
figure it out. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Neo.
Top
John
job.
Niyo
We'll see
joining
you.
us right there. Check out that column in the Detroit News. A good piece on Michigan and just kind of what they've done and where they might be going. Hey, your thoughts? College basketball. Very interesting time right now. Go ahead, fire it up, Z. Let it go. Join us. Zoom link right there. We would love to have you join the show or just put in the meeting ID number. We want to see your smiling face up here, giving us your hottest takes on the world of sports. Much more coming up on the Sports Office after this. Zebo taking us to break. Hey, welcome back. Great to have you here on the Sports Office tonight. We'll get to some of your Zooms coming up. You're always welcome to join us on the show. All you got to do is hit that QR code or put in that meeting ID number. We would love to see you. You were just talking about curling as we went to break. You could not wait to
Can't
back
get
into
enough
it.
of curling.
Well, over the weekend, I was watching curling like everyone
Did you
else.
understand it, how the scoring
Not
works?
really. I don't understand all of it. I
They
don't.
play, what, 10 games or
I
something?
don't- you're asking the wrong guy.
So I thought you win a game and you get a point, and then somebody got 2 points.
Right,
and
because it's how many are
How many are in that
closer.
bullseye? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be in the
We'll talk
bullseye,
about it
right?
after.
No, it's like bocce. It's whoever are left closest to the
Thanks.
middle.
That makes it more clear.
You don't know
It's
bocce?
just like bocce. I appreciate that.
Maybe.
Now I get it.
Well, now listen. Maybe this week or next week we can have an expert as one of our guests. Maybe a
We
curling.
can do that.
You know, because I think there's a lot of us
Are they
who
called
watch.
curlers?
Is that right?
Is that,
I
are
think
they?
so.
Okay.
But what I was going to say was that they showed some video clip on YouTube or Facebook that in the day back in the 70s they were actually brooms, like the broom that your mother would use on the back porch. Like they're sweeping out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. So if you're interested, like I am, because I'm a total geeked up geek. Look up like curling in the 70s. It's interesting.
Well, as we
This
know,
one.
curlers were much more prevalent in the 70s as well. So it only makes sense.
But
It only makes sense. No, I feel like every time I turn on the Olympics, that's what I see.
Curling.
Yeah. There's not a lot of winter sports that I get into. Can't wait to see U.S. play Canada. That will be, I think, something we're all waiting for in hockey.
And the women are playing. U.S. is playing Canada in the gold medal game on Thursday. So
I mean that stuff's great. That stuff's great. When you kind of wrap yourself in the flag and you can watch it. But some of it is like, I don't understand. Like somebody's going down the hill and they win, but they actually lost because somebody else did a better flip over a mogul or something.
The things that are judged are always tougher to, if something's timed and you beat the time, but things that like figure skating and things that are judged or some of the ski jumping or the snowboarding, when you're looking for points, it's just sometimes so frustrating because you just don't know.
I don't like the tension of figure skating. It bothers me.
Yeah.
It really does. And I understand the fact that they've put their whole life into these, 4 minutes to win a gold medal.
Have you ever seen the movie I, Tonya?
I did.
That's a disturbing movie about
She
Tonya Harding. It's very disturbing.
Was a somewhat disturbing, and is, presence back in the day, and did some things that
down
were
the
very
street.
disturbing.
I know.
Yes,
very disturbing movie.
So that was it. But I, when I see him go up and do the twists and the triple axles or whatever it is, and you're just like holding your breath to see if they can land it. It's like, to me, when I'm watching a football game, I don't have a vested interest in. And I see a field goal kicker come on at the end with a chance to win, I'm always rooting for the kicker. Because I feel like if they miss it, these poor kids that are out there in college and they come out there in front of 100,000 people in their home stadium to win a game. And if you miss it, will there ever be a moment you're laying in bed where you don't think about that?
No, and knuckleheads won't let you forget about it too. You have to deal
especially
with all
now
of that
in the
stuff,
era of social media where it's so easy for them to reach out to you and tell you how much they dislike you and don't appreciate your efforts.
One thing we can all agree on, when they have the big ski jumping,
yes,
like we're all thinking that's crazy. Like people that do that,
it's the agony to defeat.
The agony.
It is indeed the wide world of sports.
I was watching over the weekend. I mean, those guys and the gals, the young lady. I think to myself, that's insane.
Well, just to see what Lindsey Vonn had happened last week, just to see something like that, the speeds they're going.
Brutal.
And how many events are in the luge track? There's 6 different types of luge. There's skeleton and something else I have no idea what it is. They're just flying down there on their stomach, on their back. I don't know.
We were watching something the other day, and I think somebody lost a medal by 1/100th of a second. It was I think it was in a team luge thing. I don't know if it was mixed or whatever it was, but it was 100th of a second. 100th of a second. That's just veering up to the wall just a little bit too much. And there goes your dream.
Yeah.
There it is.
Good stuff.
We're going to come back, talk a little college basketball on the other side, get into some of the Zoom rooms. We'd love to have you join us. Turn your cameras on if you're in there. We can't put you on if you don't turn that camera on. Final thoughts coming up right after this on this edition of the Sports Office. Go Z Go. Go, Z, go. Magic Hands playing us back in. That's our house band. Zebo doing it. Hey, what do we think about this week? So you got Michigan taking on Purdue at Mackey tomorrow night, which is going to be
Huge.
a lot of fun.
Electric.
Yeah, and now that they're the number one team in the country, Purdue is number 7. Boilermakers are going to be looking to put one on them, which they did last year at Purdue.
That game is over in a second. And then that'll be a great game. And then you got Michigan State hosting UCLA, which, as John said, should be a get right. And then you got Duke this weekend, and then next week they who do they get? They get Minnesota, which should be a little bit of.
That's a big tomorrow night big time game against Purdue.
Yeah.
Saturday, tournament level. So is Purdue, but tournament level
And
game
that's what
against
Dusty
Duke.
May
That's
said
two number
today.
1 seeds.
Dusty May said today they're treating that like it's a Sweet 16 game or a Final Four game with a couple day prep, and they're doing that as like a practice run for the tournament.
It's going to snow again before then?
No, not this weekend. I think at some point at the end of February, we'll probably get some snow. But in the next 4 or 5 days, there's no snow.
How do we feel about March in 10 seconds? Does March usually present much snow?
Yes, we can get some snow in March. Yeah, we're not done yet.
All right. Good stuff. Well, it felt good the last couple days.
Beautiful.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Sports Office. Much more coming up tomorrow night. We will be back then.